were making a decision about a public office. Hillary's offenses have all been against the public trust. She was in charge of the State Department when Americans died in Benghazi. She was renting out American foreign policy to the highest bidder. Now, what Trump did, reprehensible though it is a private citizen on a bus a decade ago. And so this is something that Trump will have to answer for in his own life, but it's not the same thing as electing a public official or, in this case, a president.
Understood. If we could, to get into your book, to your documentary, best-selling documentary, also congratulations on the fantastic ability to get this film, Hillary's America: The Secret History of the Democratic Party, out there. I know it did really well at the box office, and it's still climbing. If we can get into just some of the basics of the movie, one thing that you have in the description here, you talk about Hillary's America and how the Democrats have been working throughout history to get to the point where we're at now. What would you say would be, if Hillary Clinton won the election, what do you see her doing in her first 100 days that could fundamentally change America? I mean, we know what she said. What do you see her doing, since you have studied her and her tactics so well?
Well, the Clintons operate as a tag team, as sort of partners in crime. And, they did so many abuses when Hillary was Secretary of State. I mean, a small example is that Bill's speaking fee, which was about $150,000, and that's really high, but that's in line with other ex-presidents. But Bill's speaking fee quadrupled to about $500,000 to $700,000 when Hillary became Secretary of State. So, we weren't born yesterday. Let's reflect on what this means. What this means is that people are paying Bill not to speak. They're making a down payment, a kind of a bribe, on something that they want Hillary to do. Now, just think about it. If this woman has been doing this in foreign policy, and we've never had a Secretary of State in 200 years of American history who has been corrupt at this level, think of what she would do if you actually give her the ultimate reins of government, where there really is no check or balance working against her. The Justice Department would be under her thumb. It's very obvious that the FBI is under her thumb. So, in other words, what kind of ability would we as citizens have to make sure that she doesn't essentially loot the Treasury and turn America itself into something that is up for sale?
Man, that's true. Okay, right on. Now, sir, by profession, we are investigators. I've been an investigator for 30 years in the private sector for Fortune 100 companies. That said, and I've been dying to ask you this question off air, but I'm asking on air. From an investigative viewpoint, or an investigative vantage point, if you were to task me with investigating Hillary and or Bill Clinton, I look at them as both being the same entity. Where would you tell me to start? What would be the start point right now to uncover criminality, to uncover the things that we're seeing? Her vulnerabilities, we'll say, especially in light of recent disclosures.
Right. So the Clintons are all about power, and they're all about money. And so a really good way to investigate them would be to follow the money. And I would simply look at all the money that has flowed into the Clintons and also the Clinton Foundation. Now, things are not what they seem. You can't say that because somebody paid Bill a $600,000 fee, that was, quote, a speaking fee, because you've actually got to look at who was that person? What did they want when Hillary was Secretary of State? Did she actually deliver that? Now, this is very similar to investigating things like insider trading, where you basically figure out who made money, how did they get the information that enabled them to make money? And were they in a position to get that information illicitly? You know, if your brother is working, for example, for a law firm that's doing a merger deal, and he knows information that he tells you that you then use to profit from it. Now, the Clintons, of course, they just make the ridiculous argument that even though they received all this money and they did exactly what the donors wanted, that those two facts are unrelated. They just got the money, and they accidentally happened to do what all these people wanted time and time and time again. But, you know, I think it takes someone of the unbelievable naivete, although I'm saying this slightly sarcastically, I don't think he's actually naive at all, of a James Comey to pretend like, oh, gee, she was negligent over here and careless over there, and she shouldn't have done this and she shouldn't have done that. But we really don't see any evidence that she intended to break the law. The people who take actions for their own benefit and circumvent the law are, in fact, breaking the law. And the very fact that Hillary set up this whole private email system, obviously she did it because she wanted to run a whole set of transactions out of view of public sight.
Yeah. And you know, there